Welcome to TradeTheMBA.com. This is John. This report is for the 16th of June. Cross of magenta below yellow has started here, but we're 2.1 with the white MBI. You really need to see that much higher before you're going to see any kind of significant dip. Usually this just means we're going to be playing around the ABM yellow, which happens to be, I believe, right around 42.20 range. Yeah, 22.75. It's right off the edge of the screen there. Steel has dipped below cyan on the DOC, so a little bit of softness, but you've got rising red, the green, of course, separation dip. That's why we've seen a little bit of softness take place, but we're still within rising shakeout, rising gold. It looks like it's could be flattening out, so we may actually see something by the end of the week develop on that. The NQ is stronger, still don't have the cross below, and of course they're still riding above 33, and even on its DOC, the steel hasn't crossed below, so it's also looking pretty decent, and again, pretty straightforward. You know, as long as you're above that ABM, you're looking for more long side action than short, until we get a sell signal, of course. From a euro standpoint, it's just flat, hovering around here, still quite elevated from where it's normally been, and that's obvious from what's been going on with the print of money. Previously, in the earlier, we had that yesterday, the positive extreme run. And as that came through, that gave just this whole series of positive extremes with the expectation of those getting filled. It was just a matter of waiting for signals to begin. Of course, the earliest ones were when you broke down with magenta below the 33, right over here. And then it became strongly confirmed once you had the white moving over red. This was coming off of pretty strong shakeout action above the 15. That's why the pink bar typically stays a little bit greener until enough bars have passed from that. But in this particular case, everything was aligning. You didn't quite have the DOC spread there. You did have cyan approaching the green. It was still a reasonable play within that range. And once these other dots pop in, you get your continuation. It's just a matter of following. The only scary part would be right around here where you get the magenta pops up. So you're expecting potential for a little pop up there. And it did move back above 50, but could not sustain that with this pretty decent run of the white above. And I would have been looking for a little bit stronger move from steel dipping down. It didn't. It was still pretty decent, though. You had the full reset right there, and then orange dips. The thing is, it happened so many bars before that loses the power. They tend to work best when they're in synergy, and that's where their interrelated activity is important to note. Even when this MBI came, it was not really going to happen much when you had that much time of the white MBI riding above, and you could say you didn't even get a steel pop below and then back above. If that had happened, then it's likely that could have carried a little bit more action with it. In fact, that's exactly what happens over here when we finally do get a little bit of a rise. And so fairly clean. It came all the way down, filled the positive extreme, and that's where we based from and began to just trade sideways. Actually pretty close to revisiting it right about now because we had this spike coming back, so we expected to move back to the zero, which currently right now is at 31.25, and we're at 32.50, so that's likely to fill within that spot, and that would have been the expectation when you see that kind of spike take place right there. It did take a while for it to ultimately develop, but still gets there in the end. And that's the most important aspect of it. As always, though, I will keep posting things on the Skype chat. Trade well. We'll talk to you later.